Welcome to the podcast, Miss Maggie Doogan, All-American candidate, University of Richmond, 6'2" senior, 23.2 points a game, tied for sixth in the nation right now at the time of this taping. What's up, Maggie?
Not much. Thanks for the introduction.
We'd be here all day if I started listing all your accolades. We don't have time for that. We got to get to the good stuff. You guys are right in the hunt once again for another A-10 regular season and A-10 tournament title. How's it going?
It's going good. We're in the midst of conference now. I think we're 5-1, so a pretty decent record now. Obviously, we have a big game coming up against George Mason, and we're going to play Rhode Island again. We're going to play Davidson again. So a lot of top competition that we're going to play twice, which is really exciting and a good opportunity for us to just keep getting better and get ready for March. So it's been going well.
We love the round robin format of the A-10 where you get to play everybody twice. That's pretty cool. Not many leagues get to do that. When you have been around as long as you have, Maggie, what do you learn from playing an opponent the second time around, or what do you hold back so that you can, bring a counter or a tweak or a change?
Yeah, I think for me personally, it's just kind of seeing how they guard me compared to the first time. Obviously, there's going to be changes. There's going to be alternative defenses that they bring in, and we're going to have to adjust to that, and they're going to have to adjust to some of the things that we're doing. So obviously it's a lot of communication. It's a lot of film watching, and just, having a game plan set and having a couple backup plans just in case, the first one doesn't go as planned.
Got to have plan B ready. That's for sure. But
Yep.
You're working on what I would call plan B all the time, because plan B is making the defense wrong. No matter what the defense does or whatever they throw at you, you have a counter. How much have you worked on in the gym when you're in there and you're thinking about, I can do one dribble pull up right hand, one dribble pull up going to left, but working on counters, footwork, and all the things that you have to be able to do to be able to score like you can score?
Yeah, obviously counters are super important. I feel like with me, being, versatile and shooting the three and also being able to drive and put the ball on the floor, you got to be able to, read the defense and know that there's probably going to be a double coming, or there's going to be help if you get past the first defender. So I think footwork is really important. That's something that we stress, especially in the summer when we're doing individual workouts and, group workouts with our post group and our post position coach. That's something that we stress, and just being patient. I feel like patience is a really big factor in our offense, especially when you're reading the defense and just trying to make reads for your teammates and make the right pass and make the right decision. So, it starts in the summer, but obviously it's a work in progress throughout the season as you're trying to figure out, how other people are playing and how to just make sure that the offense is clicking.
Do you work out with the guards or do you work out with the post players when you go break down groups?
We call our position group the small posts. So we kind of do a little bit of both guard work and post work.
And when you run sprints, are you finishing first?
Oh, not first. I can't beat the point guards yet. I'm right in the middle of the pack.
When I look at Richmond's numbers as a team, you guys are in first place in the league and are the top of the league in every offensive category. You score the most points, you have the best field goal percentage, best 3-point percentage, best free throw percentage. 62% of your baskets are assisted. How good are you guys on the offensive end?
All those numbers are great. I think we haven't reached our peak yet offensively. I feel like now, once conference has started, like the preseason, like the non-conference schedule was kind of where our offense was, trying to figure itself out. And now with conference starting, I feel like we're figuring out how to play with each other, where everybody should be, the different reads that we could be making. But honestly, I don't think we've even reached our peak yet. I think we're still learning. We're still getting better individually and as a team. So I'm really excited to see where the offense, continues to grow from here.
I listened to Coach Roussel in the post game after your last game, and he was talking defense. Kind of blows my mind a little bit because, I know he's such a good offensive coach, but playing in the NCAA tournament last year must have taught you guys something about that end of the floor. What did you learn?
I learned that you got to be gritty and you got to be willing to, battle and fight, because the big teams that you're going to play in March Madness are obviously going to be bigger, stronger, faster than like what you're used to going against. So if you're not willing to, give it all you got on the defensive end, then there's really no point.
every year that you've been at Richmond, you've gotten better. You've scored more. You've been more efficient. You've stayed out of foul trouble. You've become a better reader of the game. When you're watching film, are you watching yourself more, or are you watching what your teammates can do and how you can affect their play?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think when I'm watching, by myself, I'm watching, what reads I could have done differently, or,
Mhm.
what passes I could have made, how I could have gotten a better shot, if that was the best shot that we could have taken that possession. I'm just thinking like stuff like that. But I feel like as I'm watching myself, it just kind of brings everybody along because of our offense and how, team oriented our offense is. Like I'm making a move, but I'm also seeing, if I turn my back here, there's probably going to be a cutter on the other side. Or if I look opposite, I probably have a shooter rising from the corner. So yeah, I'm watching myself, but I'm also like, I'm kind of forced to watch everybody else just because of how our offense is set up.
Yeah, you get the top defender every night, and defenses are geared to try to slow you down. What was it like to score 48 in a game? I mean, your stat line for 48 was absolutely amazing. 17 for 28, 8 for 12 from three, 6 for 6 from the free throw line. You did have one assist. I was a little disappointed about that. I
I
don't know why you
know.
passed it.
I know. I know. That was just a crazy game. I don't even remember a lot of it. I feel like I just kind of clicked into like a different conscious and was just trying everything to keep us ahead. Um, I was really good offensively. I wasn't the best defensively that game, so I felt like I had to
That's
make it up somehow.
that's all
But
right.
it was great. It was a really cool feeling. I didn't even know that I set, the Richmond record or anything like that. So that was really special. Just what the university has meant to me and being able to write my name in that kind of history book was just amazing.
Your name is going to be in the history books for a lot of reasons at Richmond. Tell me about that zone. You don't remember because you wanted to win so much. It was such a competitive game. You were thinking about the next play. I mean, what is it when you get in the zone?
It's kind of a little bit of everything. I feel like Davidson has always been a tough opponent for us. I remember coming in as a freshman. The group before me has lost to Davidson a bunch of times, so they were always, they always had that game circled on our calendar. So I was just kind of programmed to think like, oh, Davidson's a really big game, and obviously it was going to be. They're a really good team this year, but I kind of had that mindset going into the game of like, try not to force anything right away, like see how they're going to play you. And I noticed that they weren't really sending a double all the time, so I kind of used that to my advantage. And then once I saw a three go in, I just kind of kept shooting, and they kept going in. So
We clipped,
yeah.
we clipped all those plays. We went back and watched them. You were open a lot in transition, and you were not afraid to pull it. That was really well done by you. You're just an unselfish player by nature. But when you had a chance to really call your own number and find ways to score to help your team win, that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Um, I want to ask you. You mentioned the group that you get to play with: Rachel Ulstrom and Allie Sweeney, and the other teammates that you have. What's it been like? Because you and Rachel been there together for a long time.
Yeah, it's awesome. I feel like Rachel and Allie have stepped into a bigger role this year, especially losing, the depth and the veteran players that we had last year. So I'm really proud of how they stepped up, how they are contributing, and it's kind of taking on their own like bigger role this year. With the freshmen, I feel like they're kind of figuring themselves out too, and not just the freshmen, like the transfers too.
Mhm.
As Sam Dewey has also stepped into a bigger role this year. She's been doing great, and just kind of being like that role player that we need. And yeah, the freshmen are clicking offensively, and they're kind of figuring out the offense and when to cut, when to move. They've improved defensively, so this team has just been it's been a lot of fun. It's been definitely a build, more of a build than the past years. So it's just been a fun grind in that kind of sense.
It's been a great competitive A10 race. So right
Mhm.
now, you are a 50, 40, 87. You've missed 11 free throws.
I got to be
How are we
better.
going to fix that? Because we need
I
a
got to be
50,
better.
40, 90. Do you think you can get there by the end of the year?
Hopefully, I just got to keep making my foul shots.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to challenge you right now at the free throw line anytime you're ready. I don't need much time. I just need one day to get ready. Yeah,
Oh, you would? Yeah, I would give that to you.
I'm not, no, I'm just teasing you. So, we already talked about you being on the top of the scouting report, but from a national media standpoint, How have you felt about the attention that you have been able to receive so far this year?
Um, I've kind of had a little bit of mixed feelings about it. I'm glad that I am getting the national attention because I think it's giving Richmond and the rest of our team that great attention. I think, our program, I'm biased in saying this, but I think that we should be getting a lot more attention just because of, how we've been playing. And I think we're
Mhm.
on the rise to getting that. On the flip side, though, like I don't love having all the attention on me all the time. That's just like not who I am. So I'm just kind of getting used to that. But yeah, if it can bring attention to Richmond, then it's good.
Tell me about the fundamentals that you were rooted in the way you grew up. Your family, where basketball fits.
Mhm.
Explain all that, your background a little bit, so people understand where the humility comes from.
Yeah, well, I was kind of brought up in like a like kind of like a tough like have a tough mentality. Um, Both my parents played basketball. My mom obviously was a great player in college, so she was more of a post player, and she always taught me, be physical, absorb the contact, go after rebounds, stuff like that.
Mhm.
But I was never really like the best on my team. I would kind of grew into my body late. I kind of figured things out a little later than everybody else. So I feel like that kind of is where the humility steps in. Of like I know what it's like when I wasn't the best on the floor. Um, so,
Mhm.
you just kind of that's how I got better. I, just kind of put my head down and work. So that's kind of just how I have always. That's just been my mentality.
I know your mom was a great player, and she's also been a great influence on you as well as your dad. But after the
Mhm.
games, how are you with your parents? You got the 24-hour rule, or does your mom just dive
No.
right
No, no, we're good about it now. After high school, I would say, give me a couple hours, but no, now we're good. If she's not at the games, I'll call her at night and we'll talk about the game. And it's good to hear her side, my dad's side too, of just what I could have done better, what I did well,
in?
what you know, just like she asks questions about our game plan. She's like, "Why do you do this? Why do you do that?" And I try my best to answer, but sometimes I don't know. She
You got to
throws
be a big thinker at your level because of
me.
the way defenses come at you.
Mhm.
Um, the A10 has not had an All American in a long time. You got to go back to Susie McConnell Serio when Penn State was in the A10, or Sue Wicks when Rutgers was in the A10. Those two schools are not in the A10 any longer. They're in the Big Ten. Um, you're receiving attention on a national platform and you deserve it for your game. What would it mean to you if you could be one of the top 10 players in an All American this year?
I mean, that's something that you dream of growing up, so that would it would be amazing. It would be great for the university, it'd be great for the conference. It would mean a lot to me. I know my family would be really proud. My coaches would be really proud. Like, I feel like it would make a lot of people proud, so it would be really cool.
I think Jackie Stiles and Elena Deladon are two names that come to mind to me that played at mid majors. And I don't even know if you consider yourself a mid major, but you are on the Becky Hammond mid major uh, mid season or mid major mid season watch list. There's 15 players, and you're one of them. Where does that resonate with you?
I mean, it's cool to be recognized. I don't really pay attention to the watch list or anything, so, it's good to be recognized, but, yeah, I'm not really focused too much on that.
And while you guys are one of the top offensive teams in the A10, George Mason's, who you play next, they're one of the better defensive teams, and they've had great success. They've won last year a lot. Actually, they won the A10 tournament, and that gave you guys an opportunity to be an at-large bid. Put in a little vote of confidence here for the A10 and why this A10 deserves two bids or three.
I mean, the A10 is like this will probably be like the best year that I've played in it. Every team is putting up, great numbers, and I feel like everybody's kind of beating everybody this year in some kind of way. So I think the A10 should have at least two bids into the March Madness tournament. I think that we compete well. We kind of proved that last year of beating Georgia Tech, and I
Yep.
think other teams have that capability of doing the same thing too. So that'd be awesome if we had more than one team.
I think you said it well. I mean, if you're paying attention to the A10 and you've seen how competitive the race has been and how good the teams are, how good the talent is, there's definitely an upgrade in talent. then you would see why. Rhode Island has had success on the road. Davidson has only lost to one team below 500. I mean, you can go through St. Joe's is always knocking on the door, and of course, George Mason, and then you guys. There's a lot of good teams. So the WNBA, there's an opportunity for you to be a professional when your college days are over. How do you feel about being a professional athlete?
I mean, that would be great. That's something that I've dreamed of and thought of, since I was watching the WNBA when I was 9 or 10 years old. I would love to, stay in the country and be closer to home in that sense. Going against, the best players in the country would be amazing. I think, I feel like I haven't reached my potential yet. I feel like I'm still getting better and still wanting to learn the game and get better. So, it would be an unbelievable opportunity if that happens.
There are a lot of GMs and head coaches in the WNBA that actually listen to our podcast. So they're going to hear your voice, and they like hearing your voice and other voices that are top players in our game. What do you want them to really know about who Maggie Doogan is?
To put the pressure on me. I would just want them to know that I work really hard, and any opportunity that I get, I'm going to try and take full advantage of. I love the game. I love learning about the game. I love watching the game. I love playing the game, obviously. So I just want to, kind of be a sponge and absorb as much knowledge and advice possible if the opportunity, presents itself, and hopefully I take full advantage of it.
Well, we're pulling for you to have a great finish to your senior campaign. We're pulling for an opportunity to call some of your games in the W, and that All-American Committee is keeping an eye on you. As your team succeeds, Maggie, it puts you in a bigger spotlight, and we have really enjoyed getting to know you and watch your career through the years. Thank you so much for being with us on Nothing But Net.
Yeah, thanks for having me.